Welcome, everybody, to episode 4 of Rollin' Heavy. I am your host, Darren, aka Big D, joined as always by my brother, good friend, Dustin, the notorious BOF. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Fantastic. Happy it's Friday. Getting to talk about some jujitsu, working at the gym. Yeah, it's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, speaking of the gym, we rolled what, Wednesday?
Yes.
And finally did something that was familiar, doing some scissor sweeps, and it was nice. This is one of these benefits of going back. You're gonna hit some of these moves that you've seen before, and it makes sense. And I know I was able to pick up, and we were actually able to get through a lot more rotations this time around. Felt
Yes, we
good.
were. It was good. No, it was good. I mean, it was definitely good to get something familiar like the scissor sweep and stuff. Um, I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to when we learn like the rock and the paper sweeps, so that I have the trifecta.
Well, if I do
But
a rock pass to your scissor sweep, do I win?
no, because paper covers rock. So that means if you do a rock sweep and I do a paper counter, I obviously get mount because paper covers rock. So
Gotcha.
win.
I gotcha. I just got to be careful. I got to be
Then you
careful
have
then.
to, then in that case, that's when you have to do the scissor sweep to cut it,
Yeah, yeah. There you go.
and
There you
then
go. And
and
then
then you get them out. I mean, come on,
I like
don't
it.
be a dum dum. Have
I
you never played this game before?
No, I haven't. So I'm still
Hooey.
I'm still learning. You should know this by now.
Yeah, rock paper scissors. Rock
Rock
beats
paper
paper.
scissors sweep.
But here's the thing: when you start going to scissor, I'm gonna rock and smash you. Bam,
But then I'm
done.
gonna switch to paper.
You won't. Not enough time. Once you're smashed, you're smashed. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Moral of the story: just don't get on the bottom. There you go.
Hmm.
It's a big guy.
Don't
Just
get smashed.
just do the smashing. Just
Hmm.
whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Just
BOF smash.
yes.
I'm gonna BOF smash. That's gonna
I I,
find out.
I expect that
I'm
next
gonna
time
make a
we
move.
roll. Yep.
BOF smash.
And then we're gonna both laugh our asses off and lose our position and have to start all over again.
Nah,
Oh, so
practice. Practice makes progress.
true,
So
true,
more reps, the better.
very true, very true. Um, Speaking of the gym, today, we want to talk about what are we doing outside the gym, right? We've the first kind of 3 episodes we've talked about going to the gym. What are you gonna do in the first, your first day? What's gonna be like in your first 30 days? How do you prep for the gym? But now, let's say you've been rolling for a couple of months, you've been going, and you're into it. Like, what do you do outside the gym? Unless you're rolling every day, which not everybody can do. I know we don't have that luxury. I don't know if
And
my
I think
body could
too.
handle it right now, to
Well, and
be
I think
honest.
too. I think rolling every day. I mean, if maybe if you're getting ready for a competition or a tournament or something like that, if you're gonna be rolling in like an IBJFF or something like that, maybe you want to go every day. But like for me, at least, you know, you're gonna us rolling 2 days a week. I'm really focused on those 2 days,
Yep.
and I'm really like I'm in it for the hour, and I'm really focused on what I'm gonna do. If you're there 5 times a week, you're gonna get to the point where you're just gonna probably play, grab ass part of the time, and you're not getting as much out of it. So, um, but
I mean,
so
part of
I think
jujitsu is playing grab ass. I mean, every
all
once
of
in a while,
jiu-jitsu is,
I've gotten at least half a cheek.
yeah, I know, and I've had to. It's fine. It's fine. Without even like not even like a lunch or anything, but you're welcome. Um,
No, you're welcome,
but
sir.
you, you're right. You're right. You're right. That's called playing hard to get, sir.
Okay,
Um,
uh-huh.
um, but yeah, going like and if you do go 5 days a week, that's good for you. Good on you. I mean, if you can do that, I mean, if I could do 5 days a week, I probably would. I'm not gonna lie, but as Darren was gonna touch, and I rudely interrupted him. Um, doing stuff outside of the gym to help you inside of the gym is obviously going to be very beneficial to you and to obviously the people you're rolling with and everything like that. So I'll give it back to you.
Thanks. I appreciate it after being so rudely interrupted.
I
Gosh.
know.
Thought you'd have some
I already said I
etiquette
was.
by now. We're four
No,
episodes into this. Come on, man.
I know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
But yeah, I mean, so I know for me in talking to you as we kind of got into it, it's like, one of the things that we do back and forth, and this is it's nice if you've got a friend outside the gym, is we talk back and forth. Like we go to class, and then the next day it's like, hey, how did you feel about class last night? Or how do you feel about the technique? How did this go? And then we start bouncing those ideas off of each other, and then kind of starting to set the stage for the next class we go to. So we're kind of already preparing ourselves. Like, hey, all right, when we roll on Thursday, let's depending on what we do as for our technique, let's go through the scissor sweep, or let's do um, as we're doing our active roles, let's work on guard passing, and like, I'm gonna try and pass your guard, you're gonna try and sweep, and we're gonna maybe put an emphasis on what we worked on that week. Um, so it's nice, and then having that familiarity from where we did it on Wednesday, it was nice because then as the instructor started to trade chain moves, we weren't just going back to the fundamental movement. We were able to go into some of the more advanced things that you can set up off of a scissor sweep as they block, and it was good. It was nice. So I mean, I know that's one of the things I enjoy that we do outside of the gym. I made a big roundabout way to get to this point, but um, just talking about what we did, in class. I mean, before you started, I have a page full of notes of everything that we did and videos and all that kind of crap. Like, um, I had talked about before, like being a student. I I like to after class, write down any thoughts, anything I have about techniques that we did, or maybe what was hard for me. And then, the next couple of days, I'm looking at the techniques and maybe different ways to do it, and ways that fit, I guess, my body type better. That's one of the big things that I do. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So um, so for me, you know, what I was such a, like I do stuff like for me, and especially for me, like walking into the gym, like when we started, I'm like, cool, you know what, this is 2 days to be out, kind of be active for a couple of weeks. But as we've gotten deeper into it, I'm like, you know what, I do stuff that's inside of the gym that improves my life outside of the gym. So I do stuff outside of the gym that really improves my life inside of the gym.
yep,
So, the days that we're not rolling, I'm usually up in the morning. I do a little bit of light cardio in the morning, do a little bit of strength training, um, and then some like some stretching and like a little bit of yoga or whatever. Do a little bit of workout, not something like too intense, nothing like a hit or anything like that,
right,
but
right.
just enough to get the heartbeat going, work on things that I know that I am weak on. So I spend a lot of time on like doing like lunges on my left leg because I mentioned before, with like car accident and having a hip replacement, my muscles on my left side, especially in my leg, like my hams and my um quads and stuff like
Yeah,
that, my
yeah,
gluteus and my gluteus, really, that's the muscle that I had replaced, was my gluteus minimus on my left side. So those are not super strong, and so I'm working on those, doing things like those, like single leg deadlifts on to increase the range of motion for my hip on both sides, plus the strength in that. You know, I'll go to the local high school and I'll do like stairs, but I make sure that I push up, or that I'm putting my left leg up first just to build the strength there, obviously
Yep.
changing my eating plans or my eating habits, not cutting off. I've cut off a lot of cheese and I love cheese. I love cheese. If you could
I
if
haven't gotten that far yet. I can't cut out cheese.
here's the thing. If I could marry cheese, you'll see me at the altar with a piece of Swiss. I'm just saying. Um,
Yeah,
but
I'm with you there for sure, for sure.
oh yeah, I mean, Swiss just has the holes in the right places. That's all I'm saying. But it's good with ham. It's good with ham. That's all I'm saying.
okay, all right.
So, but changing eating habits and all this other stuff. And the other thing that's really beneficial, not just for me, but is for I have kids, and I'm more active for them.
Yeah,
It's like I like to go out. I go and I'll throw the football or the baseball with my son. I will um play silly kind of wrestling, grappling based games with my younger daughters up in my living room and stuff like that. And
right,
it's
right.
good to be more active, and it's good to actually feel my body be able to move in different ways that
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been able to do before. So um, stuff inside of the gym has increased my activity and my kind of like my willing to do active things outside of the gym.
Oh,
And
for
the stuff
sure.
that I do outside, my stuff that I do outside of the gym makes me 100% way more active inside of the gym. So,
Yeah, and that's a really good point. Is that I I'm I'm lazy. I'm not gonna put it any other way. I like to sit on the couch, eat Cheetos, and watch TV, play video games. Like that's what I like to do. But rolling and going to class twice a week has got me, obviously it's got me in better shape, but it's increased my desire to want to be more active, if that makes sense. I want to, it's made it easier to do stuff at home because I want to do stuff at home to be better in the gym. I want to be better, at rolling. I want to be able to do the techniques better. I want to do this better. And that's kind of a driving factor at home. It's like, all right, well, I don't want to sit on the couch all day, so I'm gonna go, take a, mile and a half, 2 mile walk around the neighborhood. I'm gonna do something there, so I'm not just sitting on my butt doing nothing. The 5 days we're not at the gym, and my desire to do that and actually get up off the couch or not just sit down straight on the couch right when I get home is is much bigger. Is it where I want it to be? No, no. Like there's definitely days I come home and it's like, man, it's been a rough day, and I plop down on the couch and then I zone out and I don't even think about it. But then the next day I'm like, all right, I can't do that. I got to come home. I got to do something. I got to go for a walk, even if it's instead of driving to the mailbox, which is clear on the other side of the neighborhood. I'm gonna park and I'm gonna walk to the mailbox and take the long way home. As long as it's something. I have a smartwatch, just making sure that I get all my steps in for the day. That kind of stuff, and that desire for me has definitely increased since we've gone to the gym, and I want to do more outside to get better inside the gym.
yeah, and I think you touched on that too, because and the same thing, some days it's just easy to come home and just not do anything.
Yeah.
Um, but and I think and you've touched on it, is just being active is one thing, but mentally wanting to be active is completely different.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and it's like, and everybody's like, I just don't have the motivation today. The sexy part about working out isn't like motivation and isn't even like the body that you get after that. The sexy part of working out is the discipline in that you kind of instill in yourself
Mm-hmm.
towards toward your either your weight loss goal, your jujitsu goal, or if you're trying to bulk up for something goal. It's the discipline that is really what is the sexy part of it, because that's all encompassing. That's sticking to your workout plan, sticking to your meal plan,
Yep.
sticking to this and sticking to that, and that kind of, it's the ripple effect. You're if you're disciplined in the gym, and if you're disciplined with your meal plan and everything you want to do, slowly you start being more disciplined at work. You become more disciplined with, your life choices and things like that, because
Yep.
now you're focused on this goal, and everything that's outside of this goal isn't, if it's not focused on what you have planned right now, then it's
Mhm.
something. And so you start making good decisions for life and whatever and stuff like that. One thing that I've noticed that I've done is I've changed, just the power of words is amazing. And so, and I've
I've
told
got
this
some
to my
choice words
kids,
for you.
like, not here. We've talked about, look, we've talked about rolling heavy after dark,
Sorry, sorry,
and this is
sorry.
not the time, not the time. And but like, the power of words is such a, it's because words, even if it's words that you're saying to yourself, they can have a lasting effect, right?
Right,
And
right.
so that's why, and I've told my kids, I'm like, I don't like the word can't, because the word can't means is a shutdown word, right? It means you, once you say I can't, you stop thinking about how you can. So can't is a shutdown word. I'm like, we don't say can't. We say we currently struggle with this. My daughter wants to do, handstand. She's having a hard time. She's like, I can't do a handstand. I'm like, no, you're struggling with a handstand. How
Yeah,
can we
yeah.
work? What do we have to do? If you say I can't do a handstand, then you're not going to try. If you say I'm struggling with my handstands right now, okay, what do we have to do to get you better at handstands? Same thing with my son is playing football. I can't do this and I can't do that. No, you can. You're struggling with it. What do we have to do to get you to where you feel better about it? And so the same thing, in the gym, it's like I can't do that. I'm like, no, I'm struggling with that. So let's work on that a little bit more. And the other word that I try to, or the words or the phrases that I've tried to get rid of, I'm trying to get rid of have to, and I've changed I get to. It's like, you know what, I get to go for a walk right now. You know what, I get to go and work out in the basement right now. And then it's not, I have to do this. I'm not forcing myself. It's something that I'm choosing to do. And then when I say I get to go do this, I'm a little more happy to walk into my dungeon, my basement dungeon, and start,
Yeah.
working on a 9,000-year-old Bowflex machine, or a or
God,
a
you still
rowing
have
machine
that
or some.
thing?
I do. Some of the things are broken, but it's still here.
Yeah, yeah. When you say 9,000 year old, I remember that thing getting put together.
Yeah,
Oof.
I put it. Yeah, it's moved almost as much as a giant poker table. So
That lived in my house at one point in time.
yes, it did.
But no, yeah, and that's important. Getting back on topic a little bit, the power of words, and and getting it. I've definitely found myself getting out of the I can't mantra and that I have to, and it's not so, I'm not so much as I get to, I get to go for a walk. 'Cause I'm like, oh, my dog, I go for a walk. Um, it's I want to, and that's the point I'm getting to, is like I want to go for a walk right now. I want to get outside and I want to be more active, and I want to do these more active things because one, I doing this for 2 months, I've lost some weight, I feel better, and I want to supplement that. I want to get more out of it because I can only do so much going to the gym twice a week. I've got to do more, and I want to do more, and I find myself sitting that and it's like, all right, I want to go for a walk right now, or I want to go downstairs and do a whole bunch of shrimps and bridges, or I want to do some side crunches while I've got my chair in full guard. Um, I'm finding myself doing that, and then have 100% seen uh, improvements when we've been rolling. It's still tough to shrimp, especially when you're smashing, but it's easier because my body's more familiar with the movements. I've practiced it a lot more. and it feels better. I definitely have a side preference, so that's maybe something I need to work on a little bit. Is make sure I'm being equal, so I'm comfortable going multiple directions when I'm shrimping or trying to do something. But
Yeah, I noticed that when we were rolling on Wednesday that you definitely kind of favor one. So that's why I'm like, hey, go this way now, go this way now, because you know, just because I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go. I've noticed you went like 3 ways in a row. I'm like, hey, no, you need to try this side. No,
yeah, yeah, and that's I'm like, yep, I gotta go that way. 'Cause it's like this is the natural way my body wants to go, and I do it in practice too. It's like, oh, I can shrimp easier this way, and it just, but I want to. It's not like, okay, I'll go the other way. I don't want to because it's hard, but it's all right. I want to be good, doing a scissor sweep left or doing a scissor sweep right. I want to be able to set up a Kimura left or set up a Kimura right from guard. I want to be able to do all these kinds of things, and I find myself kind of switching my mentality for these things outside of the gym, which is
and you
which
want
is
to be.
nice. It's a big change for me in outside of when I was an athlete and I was doing sports and stuff, and I wanted to do all those things to get better at football or whatever I was doing at the time. But there's been probably a good 15-year gap since I've had anything close to that kind of a mentality, and it's nice. And I'm still not 100% there by any means, but it's nice, and I recognize it. Seeing that mental change kind of slowly start to happen, and I think it's important to note it's not something that's going to be overnight. It's like, oh, I went to the gym, I want to be awesome at the gym every single time. No, it's like, yes, okay, I want to do that, but it's really hard to break yourself out of those old habits and get into that kind of mindset. It's like, all right, I'm not going to the gym today. I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to do this. Or I get to do this. I get to do this. I get to do this. Um, it's something I know I struggle with, and if you're not really an active person, it's like, well, I want to play video games. Well, I want to play video games too, but I want to go on a walk before I play video games. So um, I'm not crazy active by any means, and I'm still getting there. But I have noticed that mental change kind of starting to happen for me, which is good.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know what you're saying. I'm kind of the same way, and it's like, and two, and about like going back to doing both sides and stuff like that, like you're mentioning. It does. I mean, it's only beneficial to be ambisweepstress,
Yeah, yeah. There
So
we go. Word of the day:
new new word, ambisweepstress,
ambisweepstress.
ambisweepstress. So
I like it. Perfect.
write it down, send it to Webster. It's gonna be a thing. And
I'm just gonna keep
um,
I'm gonna keep a log, and then we're gonna send it to Webster. Maybe at the end of the year, it's like, hey, you need to add all of this.
I'm just saying
We're
these are some
kind of a
pretty
big deal
awesome.
right now, just so you know.
Not, I mean, this is we're an international podcast. These are words that should be on. These are words that should be in your book.
There's
You got this little
probably
book going, and got
there's
this little cute book of words that are, that I think people know about. Why don't you go ahead and put some of these ones in there? Give it a little more credit.
there's at least
Give you some,
12 people
give you,
using this right now, okay?
look, like here's the thing. You want this book to have street cred? Throw these words in there. You're welcome, Webster.
Because we have all kinds of street cred, my friend.
All the street
All
cred. I
kinds of
mean,
street cred.
d- Notorious BOF. Tell me that's not a street cred name.
I don't know what
Yep.
you're
You
notorious
can't.
for. That's another story.
That's you know what? It's one of the rules of the streets. I can't tell you why I'm notorious.
Yeah. So we've talked about kind of, good things that we've done or, we're trying to do outside of the gym to get better. I guess what kinds of things, like what are some good habits to you? Like what are some good gym habits? We talked about last week kind of being a good training partner, but um, what are some things that I guess you do? Like, what are your gym habits? Like, what do you do before, or during, or after we roll every week?
I think one thing is, especially, and I don't know how all, jujitsu classes work or gyms work, but ours, I mean, there's not a big like stretching session, right? Some days we
Right.
have a big kind of warm up session where we're doing just more moves and stuff like that, which gives you stretches. But if you're an old fat guy like me, you're easy to break. And so before class, I like to show up to class a little bit early, the days that I can.
Yep.
Um, get kind of get ready, go out, stretch, get my shoulders warmed up, get my arms warmed up, get my legs warmed up, get
Yep.
blood
Get bloody.
flowing,
I like to
get
throw a
bloody,
couple punches. I personally like to punch myself in the face at least once.
punch myself in the face a few times, get a little, get a double nostril
Get,
flow.
get that heart
Um,
pumping.
the heart pumping, and that's how you know your heart's pumping is how much blood is coming out of your nose. If it's barely rolling, you know what? Go and hit it. You need to go hit the AB bike. Uh, your heart's not pumping fast enough if it's only a trickle out of that nose of yours. So that's my test. I punch myself in the nose, see how quick the blood is flowing. As soon as it's more of a gush, and I kind of need to get a tissue, that's when I know I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Um, no, just get the blood flowing, do that, and then and a lot of times, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of times when I pull up in the parking lot and I'm walking up to the gym, I don't have 100%.
Yeah.
Um, I don't have 100%, but um,
Dude,
there's a book that I read, and it wasn't even in color or it wasn't even in crayon. Um,
impressive. It held your
yeah, I
attention?
know it did for a long, long time. But in
Wow.
part of this in in this, and it's more like a pamphlet. It's not a big book. It's only a couple pages long, but it's like the four something of something. I can't remember the whole thing.
Yeah.
But the one thing that it said was, um, give 100% of all the time. Give 100% of what you're doing right now. With that, your 100% is going to vary from day to day and from moment to moment, right? But the
Right.
moment that you're in, give 100% to that moment that you're in, and you're going to get more out of that moment by giving it all, by just, giving it, 30, 40, even 50%, So I'm taking that again. That goes to what I'm doing outside of the gym. This is literally right outside of the gym. I'm walking into the gym. It's like it's gonna be a good day. I know it's gonna be a good day. Yes, I'm tired. I didn't sleep last night very well. I'm tired, a little sore from being smashed on Monday and working out throughout the week. Body's tired. I got you know stress doing this, sick kids at home, blah 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 blah. But then you walk in the gym and all that kind of just washes out for an hour, and I'm 100% dedicated to what's happening in that gym
Yep.
that day. I know that when
Yep.
I step out that door, all that stuff is gonna probably come back, but I'm gonna be able to handle it with a different mindset as opposed to how it's not as heavy coming out of the gym, and that's one of those things. It's one of those mental things about the stuff that happens inside the gym really helps outside of the gym.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so I
that
think
was
that's one of the
I would say that was me 100% on Wednesday. We had talked about going into gym. Is I was texting you and messaging at work and was like, dude, I am not feeling it today. And you were it's like, all right, well, let's get to the gym, let's get ready, let's go. And then yeah, as soon as we got in the gym, got signed in, as soon as my gi got on, I'm like, okay, I'm stretching, I'm ready to go. And when I got home, I got out of the gym, I felt 100 times better. Like it walked in, I'm like, man, this would be a crappy session. Like I'm not all here mentally. Like it's just gonna be rough. And but we got in, and that it's like that switch flipped. Got the gi on, got in that mental state, and was able to push through a lot of those mental blocks I was having going into the gym. And afterwards, felt great, felt awesome. I was sore, but it felt good, and I was able to handle my mental stressors, I guess, for the day a lot better after that, and then going back into work for the next day.
yeah. There's just something about, rolling around on the floor with the sweaty, chubby guy. It just makes you put you in a good mood. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the best parts of my week, to be honest with you.
Hmm. Yeah,
uh,
and mine too. I'm not. Yeah, definitely mine too. Like it's a mine too.
okay, okay. All right, so that yeah, like, so what else are you doing? So we're trying to put ourselves in that mindset going into the gym. We get to the gym, we stretch. We've had a good roll. We talked about being a good training partner last week, so we did all of those good things. We made sure we were showered, or we were at least not smelling like BO coming into the gym. I wasn't a sweet bro on Wednesday, so you're
No,
welcome.
you weren't.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you for not. Thank you for not being a sweet bro, or
uh,
even a woo girl. I appreciate it.
hey, hey, I was able to hold in my excitement on Wednesday. You're welcome.
I could tell. I could tell. The turkey timers weren't out, so it was
Nope,
nice.
nope. um, but it's we did all that kind of stuff. So what are you doing after? What do you do after we're done rolling? Like, what's your routines after you leave the gym?
There's my unhealthy after the gym routine. Not gonna lie. Here's full transparency.
Gotcha.
My my unhealthy outs after the gym. I'm like, "Ah, you know what? I killed it. This is so I usually go. Um, I'll stop at there's a convenience store just down the street from the gym. Go there. I usually get a drink. It's a water. It's like a body armor, like a
Yeah,
rehydrate type
yeah,
of thing. I get that, and then I get me a. And I guess it's not totally unhealthy. I get me one of those protein cookies, a Len. Can't remember the name of them, but it's a protein cookie, like a chocolate chip protein cookie, plant based protein cookie, and I eat that and I have my body armor and I drive home and then I usually just I think about okay, what were the good parts of the gym today? What were the good parts about rowing? Where did I feel good? Using
yeah,
Wednesday as an example. You know what? The moves came easier. Like there was actually a point when we were just kind of going through the motions, right? And this is what you do. I got my, I put my hand upon your hip, and then I dipped, you dipped, and we dipped, and it was
yep.
amazing.
It was great.
You know, s- so we were doing the move, and I got my foot to your hip, and I was like, shit, that thing was just there. Like I didn't have to force it or anything.
Right.
Like it kind of landed there. So I'm like, cool, that's cool. Which obviously shows, improved range of motion and stuff like that. So I was super happy about that. So that's kind of what I do. I drive, stop at the convenience store, pick up my drink and my cookie, drive home. What was good today? Okay, what maybe do I want to focus on next week during active rolling? Because I don't think I was getting it very good today. Um, so like next time when we do active rolling, um, Monday or Wednesday, whenever we go next week, whatever days we hit next week, I obviously want to do work on that sweep more, but doing half guard and then going to being able to take the back. Like I couldn't do it. I know I couldn't do it, and I really had to have the instructor really kind of force me into the position to know what the
Yeah,
hell was
yeah.
happening.
That was
So
that was a tough one though. That like it was tough to get up there.
so that was one thing. I'm like, I want to make that a little more smooth. I want to go through that again. Watch some YouTubes about it, but like, hey, all right, what do I have to do? What do I have to do? What is this? One thing I felt super good about was, when we were doing butter guard or butterfly guard, and I lifted you up several times. I'm like, you know what? I feel pretty good about that because that was easy. Lifting you up was easy. So thanks for making the changes you have because it was a lot easier to lift
Yeah,
you up this time than
you
it was several weeks ago.
yeah,
So
you were able to fly me like an airplane pretty good. So you're
yeah, so that
welcome.
was
You're welcome.
that was a good time. That was fun. I'm like, hey, look at that. You're just kind of up there. I'm like,
It's
just kind of up there.
it's about 20
I
pounds
didn't even,
less that you're lifting. You're welcome.
yeah, and I didn't even like have a poop baby trying to get you up there or hernia or anything. You just kind of went up there. I'm like, oh, cool. I can do this 10 times. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I on the other hand, I needed you to spot me a little bit and put your arms down so I wasn't just dying. But I also kind of felt the same way um, about it. And you talk about your after the gym unhealthy habits. Depends on the day. Like sometimes, my wife and I, we have a meal prep plan. So we have dinners planned out for first 6 days of the week, which is nice. And they're good. They're balanced dinners every time. I try to come home and eat one of those and finish off my water, or I have this stuff that's called Liquid IV, um, which has helped me a bunch. I feel like it actually it's one of those things that actually makes me feel more hydrated. I don't have to drink like two giant water bottles. Um, so I'll either drink my water, or put in a pack of this Liquid IV stuff, and then I will drink, or then I will eat one of these pre-prepared meals. But sometimes unhealthy me is like, I don't want to go through all that when I get home. Is, oh, well, there's a McDonald's right down the street, or there's an iceberg. I'm going to just grab a hamburger, fries, and a soda. This is going to undo all the work, but I'm just like, you know what? I worked out and it's more than what I had done before. So I'm going to take it. So it's not always real unhealthy, but I do try to be good at least half of the week. But then also making sure that I'm staying good for the rest of the week. Like if I eat crappy one night after I roll, it's one thing. But as long as I'm not making it a trend and I'm eating well, you know, 5 or 6 of the other days of the week, then I don't feel too bad about it.
Yeah, I mean a cheat day, and then you know what, and a lot of meal plans, do you have a designated cheat day,
Nope.
and that's fine. Like the meal plan I'm doing, we have a designated cheat day, and obviously we kind of limit the cheat day to not McDonald's or Burger King or a takeout food, but
Yeah.
we do something that's not on the meal plan. Maybe it's a little more higher in calories and stuff like that, which isn't terrible. Higher calories, you're gonna keep that because it's like anything, especially like working out. Let's take to working out, especially and especially if you're working out like a bodybuilder or something.
Yeah.
You're doing your 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 8, 3 sets of 8. When you first hit the gym, you're like, man, I'm gaining so much strength and I'm pushing so much weight and blah blah blah
Right.
blah blah. Then
Right.
3 months down your road, it's like I haven't even my maxes aren't going anywhere. Well, it's because you're lifting as a bodybuilder. You're not lifting as a power lifter. Like you're not keeping your body guessing on what's coming next, what's coming next. You're
Right.
not doing
Right.
like pyramids and reverse pyramids and 5x5s and 3x3s and all this other thing to actually gain muscle, right? Like in that, and if your goal is to be a bodybuilder, stick with that. Do your thing, stick with that. Bodybuilders are built in the kitchen, really, primarily, not in the gym. Bodybuilders are built in the gym. That's why they do these powerlifting things. And they get stronger because they keep their body guessing with
Yep.
what they're lifting and stuff like that. Same thing, obviously I'm not a nutritionist or anything like that, but
You're speaking from
um,
experience, though.
I am
It,
speaking
it's
from experience
it's not something
that
that you're unfamiliar with.
I have no, I have been shocked where like following a very strict, caloric uh, deficient diet, you plateau, you absolutely plateau, and you stop, because when you first start it, your body has a lot to lose. And so it's like, and so it's burning everything that it had. But then it gets to a point, it's like, wait a second, I don't think we're going to ever get any more food than what we're getting now.
Right.
We need to maybe not, let's go ahead and slow that metabolism down a little bit.
Yep.
But
Yep.
then so you're following this, you know, calorie deficient diet, 3 days out of the week, 4 days out of the week. Day five, you throw in something that's higher in calories, maybe not fats and sugars and stuff, but it's higher calories. Maybe you are having a steak instead of a piece of chicken or a piece of fish or something, and now you're having a baked potato instead of, maybe some hummus or something like that, or some couscous or something like that. You're having something that's a little bit higher in calories. Now your body's like, wait, hold on a second. Let's keep that I said let's shut the metabolism down, but let's keep it going a little bit. So, and I've found like doing that, throwing in a cheat day, I've like lost, there's been times where I've lost like 6 pounds in a week, which is not sustainable. But
Right,
I'm like,
right.
wow, and I ate like garbage yesterday, and I wake up the next day and I'm down 6 pounds. I'm like, wait a second. So, I think it's great to have a cheat day. It's just like everything, you need to be disciplined with your cheat day.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. That's the point I was making, right? Was, you know, yeah, I do this after the gym, but I'm trying to make sure that I'm eating better the 5, 6 other days of the week.
Yeah,
Um,
as long as the cheat day stays to 1 day instead of, it doesn't creep into 2 days and then 3 days, and then now your cheat day is 5 days of the week, then yeah, then you're back
right.
to where you were.
Well, and I'm gonna be 100% honest. Like I'm not super strict diet wise because I've tried to do it in the past, and let's be honest, I didn't get in my shape not loving food. Like I love to eat. I love
W-
the way food tastes. I like all kinds of food, and I like to eat.
Well,
That's
and honestly, let's look at it like this. A diet's honestly, diet is one of those, naughty, naughty, no words, it is.
right.
It's one of those four-letter, ooh, better not say it type of words. And it truly is.
Yeah.
The word diet is the same word as can't and have to.
Yeah, and
Because
yeah, for sure.
because
Like it,
diet because the second because diet, you know, ultimately comes with I can't have that because I am on a diet.
yeah, it
Hey, do you want to
automatic.
go and grab this?
Yep.
I can't have that because I'm on a diet. You know what? I choose to not have that right now because I am choosing a healthier lifestyle. Again, remember, power of words, right?
Yep.
How we're going to circle way back to that. The power of words. It's one of those things. Diet means I can't. I can't have that because I'm on a diet. You know what? I'm making healthy choices, so I'm going to choose to not have that right now. Or hey, you know what? Where you guys are going out for lunch today? Cool. Where are you going? Let me jump online and see if they have some options that I could maybe fit into my meal plan, and then I would love to join you. There's always options to go out and eat, but not be like, oh yeah, you know, nine Big Macs.
Yeah. Or what? 4 Crown Burgers?
That hey, that was told you that in confidence, man.
Yeah, and I mean, and that's like that's one approach to take on it. The approach I take is, if I want to eat pizza, I'm gonna eat pizza. But instead of eating like 6 pieces, I'm gonna eat 3 pieces. Like what I'm trying to do right now, and get into it for me is I'm just looking for moderation. If I don't want to deprive myself of these things. If I'm
No, and
if I
I
want to
think
eat
that's a
if I
great
want to
thing.
if I want to eat ice cream, like I'm gonna eat some ice cream, but I'm not gonna eat half a tub of ice cream. I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm
no.
gonna limit myself to a couple of scoops, and then I tell myself, hey, if I want more, I can have more. I just have to go back and get it. Um, and I don't just overfill my bowl full of ice cream. Same thing, like if we go out to a fast food place, instead of getting, you know, a huge fry and all that kind of stuff, like I'd bump it down maybe to a medium.
Hmm.
Maybe I'm getting a diet soda,
Yep.
um, or something along those lines. And it's really worked for me now. And I know at some point I'm gonna have to make some more drastic changes to get through some of these weight plateaus. And I'm kind of hitting that point right now, whereas I've lost about 20-ish pounds. But I haven't been super strict, especially the last couple of weeks. So I've had a couple of more bad days, or not really. I don't want to say bad days, but I've had more days where I haven't eaten the foods that I had planned to eat. Um, and then I haven't done quite as much as I would outside the gym. So I'm working on getting myself back into that mentality. It's like, okay, I want to go for two walks this week on days that we're not rolling. I want to make sure that I eat all six of my prepared meals this week, and I'm limiting myself to uh, what I'm splurging on, I guess you can say, or cheating on. Um, but it's okay, and it's okay to say, it's like, yeah, and this is me 100%. Yeah, I'm gonna go out, but if we're gonna get a burger, maybe I eat half of the burger and save the rest. Or I see maybe there's chicken sandwich, like you said, finding an alternative. And for me, it's just it's limiting my intake because, like I said, I like to eat, and once I start to eat, I'd like to finish what I have on my plate, especially if it's good food.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Who doesn't love good food?
And that's kind of one of the things too. And obviously too, I like food. Who doesn't like food, you know? That's why, you know, higher calorie food tastes better than healthy food. It just does, you know? I'm sorry. You know, an ice cream cone tastes way better than a piece of broccoli. They're shaped similar, but I'm sorry, the ice cream tastes way better than a piece of broccoli. It just does. No
Agreed.
offense,
Yeah.
broccoli. No offense to any broccoli listening, but you know, ice cream tastes way better than you. um, but it is, and it's kind of that it's one of those mental things that I've kind of put myself into, and I kind of try to teach that to my kids too. It's like you don't have to eat till you're full. Just eat till you're not hungry anymore. You know, you might get hungry again in a couple hours, and that's fine. And then we'll find a snack. You know, something
Right.
to get you to not hungry again. It's that's just it. It's not like we're not bears. We don't have to eat until we're full. We don't need to eat. We don't have to eat everything we can. We just need to eat till we're not hungry.
Yeah,
And then
but
when we get
sometimes
hungry
that
again,
food coma, though, that I'm thinking Thanksgiving, you ate a giant plate of food and I got nap afterwards. Pretty good.
great. It's great. But you know what? That's a cheat day. There you go. There's a cheat day right there.
That's your cheat day for like the next 3 weeks.
Uh-huh. It's like, I'm still working off the turkey.
But yeah, I mean, and another kind of driving factor for me, and you and I have kind of talked about this, outside the gym is, like my personal image. Like I don't like the way I look in the mirror. I'm doing this to better myself, but it's hard. It's looking. It's like some days like, yeah, I feel like I'm looking good, but most of the days it's like I'm a fat dude. I don't want to be a fat dude anymore. I want my clothes to fit right. I don't want everything to be stretched all thin, and it's tough to get it out of that mentality because, for me, for the longest time, like food was a coping mechanism. It's, oh, I had a crappy day at work. I'm gonna eat some good food. Or hey, it was a good day. I'm gonna eat some good food. Or I'm feeling bad about myself, so I want to eat. I want to eat that. It's kind of that built-in
No, food
comfort
is
for me. You know what I mean?
no, and that's just, and I agree with you. Food is definitely be a coping mechanism. And you know what? Where I drop the ball, food should never be a celebratory thing. You know, like after the gym, yeah, I'm gonna go get my drink and my cookie. Yeah, it's a healthier cookie. Yeah, I'm not drinking, 64 ounces of, Coca-Cola or whatever. But food shouldn't be like, I worked out. I should go have a, you know, Crown Burger. You know.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. For sure. Um. But yeah, it's this is something we could probably spend hours talking on because like just the mentality around it.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough to break. Especially if you're a person like me, who's been largely inactive for however many the last couple years are. And maybe you were an athlete before. I used to be pretty fit. I boast I had a 4-pack at one point. Um, and I joke now that it is locked inside a cooler that is now sealed inside a keg.
It's your 4-pack is inside a Yeti. It's a very good cooler and very insulated, but it's there.
It's there, and it's and I see myself now in, as a guy, it's supposed to be like, oh well, you're just a big dude, like it's totally okay, you're just, you're a big dude, you're big D, like that's what you're supposed to, that's what you are. But it's hard for me mentally. It's like, okay, yeah, I'm a big dude, that's fine. But it's not fine, it's okay to not feel okay with it, um,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
want to do better. And that's this is it's been slow, and it's really hard to break these habits, and it's been really hard to break these habits, but slowly coming around, and I'm slowly finding myself. I'm seeing improvements when I look at myself in the mirror. I can see the 20 pounds that I've lost. My face is a little bit thinner. My second chin is a little smaller. My gi fits better. It's easier to tie my belt. We joked about, what was it, a couple weeks ago on my rash guard, like I should just put a nice little mark where it
oh
is
yeah.
when I first
Hmm.
tie it up, and then let's just mark, see how far that I've come,
How
because
far
I
we can tie that gig, and
yeah.
then it's like, hey man, we almost need to drop down a size. You're gonna have to
I,
go to an A5 soon.
oh, A4, thank you, sir. A4.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said you're in A5. I thought you said you're in A6.
Yeah, my belt is an A6 because
Got you.
I'm well endowed in the midsection. So
Oh,
I need the extra length on the belt to
oh, sorry. Yeah,
tie it down.
I
But
didn't realize the
everything
white
else is
that
a 5.
I didn't realize your belt was so long. I mean, it's white, so it doesn't really look that long. So,
Different show, my friend. Different show. But yeah, like it's in, and I don't want to detract too far from where we were going, because I do think it's an important point to make, is it, as a big guy, it's okay to be not to not feel okay just being a big guy, and to want to do something about it. And I will be the very first person to tell you it's hard. Uh, and it's getting yourself out of that mentality. It's harder than rolling in jujitsu. Um, rolling in jujitsu compared to breaking out of a mentality like this is easy. Um, it's years and years of conditioning that's kind of got you into that mindset, and it's gonna take time. And for me, what has helped a ton is, I like to celebrate the little wins when I can tighten my belt up. So I have a ratcheting belt because my old belt was just destroyed. So I bought one of those ones that kind of like ratchets itself up and like locks it tight. Um, a couple of weeks ago, I had to take the buckle off and cut a couple inches off of the belt because it wasn't holding my pants up anymore.
very nice.
That's a big win in my book. It's like, hey, I'm making
That's a huge
progress.
win.
I
That's a
can
huge win.
my my pants will fit straight out of the dryer now.
Hmm.
I don't have to squeeze myself into them. I may not be seeing huge results on the scale over the last couple weeks because I've kind of plateaued at this point, but I'm seeing other differences in my body, and I'm like, okay, and because I've gotten disheartened a little bit, like why, and it's kind of stifled my progress of wanting to do some of these things outside of the gyms. Like I just want to come home and I don't want to do anything. Like it's not going to make that big of a difference anyways, but I'm starting to see these little differences where, yeah, my face is still getting a little bit smaller. My clothes are starting to fit a little bit better, and then that cutting was probably a good inch and a half off of my belt, that to make it function as a belt again. So
Very, very
um,
nice.
it's helped. It's helped a ton for me.
Mhm. No, I get you, and I understand that, and there's some things too, and like for me, and I think kind of one of the things, like you were talking about jumping on the scale, right? And the one of the reasons, and you mentioned like how much weight you've lost or whatever, and it's I commend you for it, and I'm very proud of you for it. Um, but I've never mentioned how much I've lost, um, doing jujitsu or whatever, because I don't jump on the scale. I don't like the scale. Not because it's going to tell me, it's. I think I did mention in our first or second episode, the last time I jumped on the scale, it said E, which
Yeah.
is enough. You weigh enough. You have all of the
You
weights
have
that you
all
need.
of the weight.
You know what? You're maxed out. Good job. Congratulations. You are maxed out with your weight. Good job. Don't get on me ever again. And I won't because I know you can use weight if you're doing like if you're counting macros and doing all the things. Weight is good to go in the formulas. You need it for like your weight and this or that and the other, whatever, and that's fine. And that's the but really, honestly, weight is just your relationship with gravity. That's it. How does much and gravity with E, gravity loves me enormous. That's what the E is for. Gravity loves you so much. It loves you. It doesn't even. All we can say is E loves you this much. So I don't jump on the scale, but kind of like what you were mentioning, the way the clothes are fitting, the way that I'm seeing in the mirror, right? I know that being a chubby, bearded, tattooed guy, which is me, is kind of like the that's the new sexy, which is great, and
Yeah.
but if the chubby, tattooed, bearded guy looking back at me in the mirror, that I'm looking at in the mirror, if I don't like that guy, I'm not going to be the chubby, tattooed, bearded guy anymore because I
Right.
don't. Being that guy is one thing, but not being able to run around and not being able to, that's different. And if I don't like the guy that is in the mirror, then I'm gonna make a change. And I want to be less of a chubby, bearded, tattooed guy. And I'll always be chubby. Let's be honest. I'm always gonna be chubby. That's just how I'm built. I got a big, as the as someone older than me would say, he's just got big bones. He's just you just got the big bones. I'm like, you know what? I do. Um, but I do. I have a big. Maybe my skeletal structure's bigger. I don't know. I'm wide at the shoulder. Unfortunately, I'm wide at the waist too. I want to be more wide at the shoulder. You know, shorter at the waist,
we're
and I'm working on that.
we're
I'll
not
always
the
be a
we're
little bit chubby.
well, we're not the classic, V shape. Like,
No,
you
and
and I
here's
are
the
built
thing.
very, very similar that way.
I will never be under 200 pounds. You know what? If I'm under 210 pounds, it's because I've cut off a leg. I'm now an amputee.
I
Oh,
know a guy that can help you, just so you know.
cool, cool. Have to hook him up. Um,
Replace your leg, not cut it off. Just
I
let me
want,
let me let me be real clear here.
I want. Hey, you know what? Even if he cuts it off, as long as I just want lasers in my leg, and I'm
Laser.
um
I just want freaking laser
laser.
beams on my freaking leg.
How is it so? Can I just bend my knee and lasers come out? That's all I want.
You somehow got real Canadian right there.
Felt it.
I know what you were going for, but I don't
Don't
think you
talk about my laser knee, okay?
you, you didn't quite get
Hey,
there.
guy. Listen, guy.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy. I know what you're talking about, okay?
Don't you know? Oh,
Don't you
that's that.
know?
That's a different one. Oh wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I
But
think we've
anyway.
sufficiently
Then we closed.
derailed here.
Should we what?
I think we've sufficiently derailed here.
I think we have to.
But yeah, I mean, sorry, I know I kind of cut you off, but you were
You're fine.
talking
I was
about.
basically going. I was basically on the same tangent that you were on. All right.
But yeah, it's and yeah and yeah, weight's only so much, it's only a certain piece of the puzzle. And I'm exactly like you. I mean, we're brothers. We're built in a very, very similar way. I'm wide through the shoulders. I'm wide through the hips. I'm not gonna be that classic, you know, guy you see in GQ magazine. Like, I'm not gonna have that shape. That's just not me. Even when I was bragging about having a 4 pack a couple minutes ago. Like, even when I had that, like, I didn't have that kind of a shape. That's just not how I'm built. Um, I'm a wall, more or less. So, and it's important, to know what your goal is and focus on you and not everything else that's out there. Do what's best for you and focus on your goals, because you're the only person that's you, right? Like, even though you and I are so similar in our builds and everything, um your body's not exactly like my body. You have challenges. I have my own challenges. It's important for me to focus on what I'm doing and not what you're doing and not the progress you're making. I'm going to celebrate your progress, absolutely, but I'm not going to see your progress and be like, well, I've made similar progress. Why don't I look like you? Or why don't I look this way? You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, and so it's good. Set your own goals and be your, I guess, be your own person in that respect.
Yeah, be you. And that's kind of, and I think we maybe touched on that earlier in one of the earlier episodes too, is you know what? Don't compare your beginning to someone's middle or end.
Yep.
You know, you do you. This is your goal. This is your goal. This is what I want my goal to be. Here's my plan to get to my goal. I don't care, you know, I started at the same time as, you know, John or Jane or whoever, but their progress is completely different. Well, you know what? They're looking at a different they they are running a different path. They have a different body. Maybe their metabolism is different. Maybe this is different. Maybe that's different. Who knows? Maybe they're not eating what they're supposed to do. And so
Right.
yeah, they're going to lose weight super fast, but 2 weeks from now, they're going to be, you know, back up 20 pounds because all they were eating was, you know, kale and apples for God's sake. So do it do just do you.
You do you.
Hashtag just do you.
You do
Hashtag
you,
you do
boo.
you. Call her good.
Yep. Perfect. I like it. Um, and yeah, and I think that's a good stopping point for us today. I think we delve into a lot of things uh, today that's not necessarily jujitsu related, but I think it's very important things to talk
The things that
about.
came out of jujitsu, like
Yes, like this.
mindsets and mindsets and different things that came
Yeah,
out. Just doing that. And you know what? Maybe it's not jujitsu for someone else, but maybe hey, you know what? Maybe it's, you know, taking a walk or riding a bike or
right.
something.
It's you find your jujitsu. You find for you what jujitsu has been for us.
Yep.
And I think it's important to talk about you know being a man and being a larger man, that it's okay to be okay with not liking how you look and wanting to do better. And you don't have to just be the big friend. Well, you don't have to be the big D's. You don't have to be that person. And to run your own race, it's all about you and any little progress you make, and celebrate your little wins, no matter how little they are. So
Yep. Yep. 100%.
yeah, and I think that's a good place for us to wrap up. Do you have any final thoughts for tonight?
We dank for the waffles for our Belgian friends.
Thanks. Thanks. Anything else?
Nope, good. Just
All
you guys,
right.
just you be you.
All right. And thanks as always for everyone that's listening. We really appreciate the support. It's way more popular than at least I ever thought it was going to be. So thank you everybody for listening. If you have any questions, please send them to rollandheavy bjj at gmail.com, and we will do our best to answer them on the next show. So thanks everyone, and have a wonderful night.